In order for Village A and Village B to sustain life for their citizens, they both each need 30 gallons of water. However, Village A already has 20 gallons of water. Village B has no water at all. You have 40 gallons of water. Remember, they both only need 30 gallons and Village A already has 20, Village B has none. You have 40 gallons to distribute to both villages. How do you divide your 40 gallons of water between Village A and Village B? Now, out of all the sickening things and that Andrew Schulz said about Kendrick Lamar, I only need to discuss 2 of those things in this video to show you not only a horrific human being, but just how divisive we are as mankind, how we lack empathy in putting ourselves in other people's shoes for our own financial gain. So the first thing I'll get out the way really easily, and it was about R. Kelly. He purposefully lied to you all because he already has the information to know that Kendrick Lamar never took up for R. Kelly. But he needed that in order to make Kendrick Lamar look like a hypocrite. So I'm going to show you all that Andrew Schulz is an actual hypocrite. He alleged that Kendrick Lamar went against Spotify to make sure that they did not take down R. Kelly's music. Wow, that verbiage is just, you are really good, Andrew. He never did that. You see, Kendrick Lamar knew Spotify's new misconduct rule. But if you're just alleged of anything, we're going to take your music down. That would be cool. Not take that back. That still wouldn't be cool, because if you leave something that vague and ambiguous, it opens the door for Spotify to just pick each person out at will instead of being evenly distributed across the board, which is ironically funny enough, since Andrew's biggest claim in this video is that he's going to do stuff evenly across the board. I'm going to call him out on that also. So, is it even? Is it even? And when we got people like Ted Nugent, Elvis Presley, who married a 14-year-old girl, and other celebrities who sexual assault with underage girls, and their music on Spotify. So this is a call for Kendrick Lamar to be even. Hey, take everybody down that did that. Or show me how you're choosing one person over the other when they all have done it. Because if you're picking and choosing, that means that you're only using this as an excuse. The real reason Spotify made that rule is so that they can have good graces with everybody. That's it. That's all every company ever cares about. The companies don't have moral obligations. When they use these as an excuse, it's just an excuse. The difference between Elvis Presley and R. Kelly is that R. Kelly was recent in our face, so the news was putting negative publicity on R. Kelly, as they should. So since he's getting negativity, remove R. Kelly. We don't actually care about underage girls because we're totally fine with the grown man marrying a 14-year-old girl. So on the hypocrisy of Kendrick Lamar, he was actually incorrect on that. What about your hypocrisy? Do you care about sexual assault, Andrew? When you come out here and you say, you make the conscious decision that I'm going to open the floodgates on Kendrick Lamar. All these people are scared of this guy. I'm not, so I'm going to open the floodgates. You got to make sure that you have no skeletons in your closet, mister. Because do you actually care? Let's take a look at this clip.
Ariel, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I got this girl real drunk. And
that sentence sounds a little fishy. I got her drunk.
I didn't just get her drunk. I remember I went to the sex store and got Spanish Fly.
Oh, so you raped her?
Shut up. Spanish Fly. They sell it in the sex store. I'm telling the truth. They spell it in the Spanish store. I had the fucking.
They sell knives at the store too. You could put that to a girl's throat and have sex with it. That doesn't mean it's illegal.
So I put the Spanish Fly in the E&J. We drinking the E&J and shit. So in my mind, I don't know if this shit really worked, but I felt like I got horny as a motherfucker too. Right? So she was drunk as shit, and we had sex and shit, and like. A lot of my boys was trying to come in the room and fuck her. I'm like, nah, chill out. I can't. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna let you run a train on it. That's rape. Yeah. Okay. So, right. So
if it's just one-on-one, it ain't rape.
Yeah. So the next
trains are rape.
So the next morning she wakes up. And we talk about it. And she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, we had sex." She said, "Okay, well, I'm glad it was you." Then a couple days later, she's like, yo, are you sure I only had sex with you? Because one of my stupid ass cousins was going around saying he fucked her, which he didn't. I know for a fact he didn't. I was there the whole time. He did not fuck her. He looked at her naked, but he didn't fuck her, right? So I'm telling her, no, me and you just had sex. Nobody else did nothing. So it just was weird that she was like, well, I'm just glad it was you. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, you could have been in a real bad situation if it was another motherfucker.
That's a huge compliment, man. A girl just said, yo, at least you raped me.
I didn't rape her. I did not rape her. I did not rape her.
If it was any of your cousins or friends who have been raped, but
I didn't rape her because me and her had every intention of having sex with each other.
So then why would you put the Spanish fly?
I'm still a freaky motherfucker, but listen,
was she passed out while you fucked her?
She wasn't like, she was like one of those drunks where, she was one of those drunks where like, she was one of those drunks where she was like, she wasn't coherent, but she was up. You know when your girls is like when you're blacked out.
So I'm just curious about the clip that I just heard, Andrew. You're joking with your co-host, Charlemagne the God, as he laughs and tells you that he had sex with a woman, by his own words, that blacked out. She blacked out. This is funny to you. It looks like in this clip, you're trying to save Charlemagne. You don't actually care what took place. You just don't want him to look bad to the public, which means you don't really care about it. The reason you don't care about things, other than you're only out for yourself, is because you're disconnected. And not only are you disconnected, but when you're disconnected from something and you're gaining success while being disconnected, you have no incentive to care unless you have morals. You're never close and personal. For I find it funny that the woman that Charlemagne is talking about in that clip is different from another woman that alleges that he sexually assaulted her. I actually got to know the other woman that he allegedly sexually assaulted. We don't even have to talk about alleged. We can talk about what he pled guilty to. Charlemagne the God, the adult male that took a 15-year-old to an adult party on a base, purchased alcohol for her because he pled guilty to that lesser charge, where men sexually assaulted her. Multiple men, over and over. And by her words, she said that your co-host was involved in the sexual assault. He pled to a lesser charge of buying an alcohol for a child, setting the tone in place for all of this to happen. When you get close and personal on situations like this, when you get an entire police report on situations like this, for lack of a better word, that shit ain't funny. You didn't get to interview her like I did, Andrew Schulz. You didn't get to see her break down and cry on camera.
I'm sorry. I hate talking about it. I swear to God. Okay.
That whole pause that she just did right there. Yeah. That they gonna feel right. So you ain't gotta finish that. You ain't gotta finish that. So this caused you guys to move to Summerville, South Carolina? As her mother haplessly walks around in the background, and you don't know what to do as a filmmaker because someone's not supposed to be walking around in the background, but you don't want to interrupt her from saying these horrific things that's happening to her, and she's in her zone. You didn't see that. You didn't see when I told her for the end of this, for the first time in over a decade, I want you to look at that camera, and I don't want you to say what happened to you. I just want you to look at the camera and say what you say directly to Charlemagne the God. As I'm in the room, you can hear a pin drop on a soft carpet. My business partner is in the room. Star from the Morning Report is on his way in the room. And she looks directly at this camera And I shit you not, she transformed. And what she said was so heartbreaking, and what she said was so chilling. I felt like I was being assaulted. And I had to step out of that. And I had to say, this didn't happen to you, John. But everything you're feeling right now, as I can put myself in the room, in that party, in every place that she's describing, this actually happened to her. She was so focused and locked in. When Star from the Morning Report came down to bring us food and he had no idea that she was filming this, the face she made is like she snapped out of a trance and turned really quickly to look and see what that noise was. And it's like, it was almost like she left her body, and when she heard Star walk in, it came right back in. I've never seen something so powerful in my life. And to witness this and stories from other people, how dare you laugh and joke around with sexual assault while trying to call somebody else a hypocrite. You piece of shit. The other thing I want to address, black women in general. People would think that what you said about Kendrick Lamar and what you do to him, whether he consensually gives you permission or not, was the most damaging thing that you said. But it wasn't to me, because I knew when you said that, you're going to receive immediate backlash. The most damaging thing is something that people will follow you and you will receive no backlash for, which is when you said this.
The reality is, the second that you make a group protected, everything else becomes racist. You're either racist to that group or you're racist to everybody else.
Now, I ask you guys a question. Village A has 20 gallons of water. Village B has no water at all. They both need 30 gallons of water, and you have 40 gallons of water. Any prudent person to make sure both villages are equipped to survive and we won't receive any deaths, any backlash, you would give Village A 10 gallons and you would give Village B 30 gallons. In order to make something even, you had to distribute it uneven. According to Andrew Schulz, he would have gave Village A 20 gallons of water, Village B 20 gallons of water, because everybody gets it evenly. Everybody gets it evenly. He don't care about the consequences that Village A has 40 gallons. They have more than enough water, and Village B only has 20. Some people are not going to be around. He doesn't care. It's his water. He wants to do it evenly. Statements like that are what I call level one thinking. Is when you only do one level down on this will be the topic of equality. You don't do any further analysis. The damaging thing about doing it in this case is that you leave the world thinking, I don't see what's wrong with what Andrew Schulz is doing, because he's giving it to everybody evenly. In order for something to be even, you got to look at the consequences. There is no online conglomerate on social media where everybody is putting down white women. Everybody is putting down Asian women. Everybody is putting down Hispanic women. The women that are getting it the most, we're talking about racism. Now we're actually talking about a financial incentive. There is a financial incentive to talk about black American women. And it's sad. One of the most saddest things I've ever heard of. You can make a YouTube channel and you can have 0 subscribers. Go online without remorse and wake up every single day to put down black American women, and you will gain followers so fast. You're sacking hypocrisy. Why is it that people tell us black people always talk trash when the police shoot them, but they never say nothing when they kill each other? It's because you guys are not in our culture. So you hear talking points from other people that sounds believable to you. You ignore all the causes we have. You ignore all the online onslaught that we have, that we speak about it all the time against black on black killings. However, I don't even need that for this video. It's just the fact that you guys are upset if we say that white people are killing us, but we're not saying black people kill us. And in this situation, we're talking about our own people that we're trying to hold accountable. How dare these black men, for their own financial gain, wake up every day to put down their own women? How dare these black people, for their own financial gain, these black men who's supposed to be protecting their women, go and join other people to put down their own women when ain't nobody doing that, Andrew Schulz. You don't see it. There is no conglomerate of YouTube videos where a Hispanic man wakes up every single day and all he does is put down Hispanic women. It's only happening in the black American culture, and we are out here holding each other accountable, calling them out. I don't even know if Kendrick Lamar said that about you. I'm saying this about you. But if he was saying this about you, was it the actual line towards the black men on your podcast? And if so, you're a hypocrite. Because you know what I did? I imagined, before I started this video, I imagined your Italian great-grandfather, as he saved every coin up to make his way from Italy to America in New York. I imagine your grandfather. I imagine your father. I imagine you. And then I imagine millennials. I start imagining Italian American men in their 20s. And what would happen if Italian men woke up every day and all they did was perpetuate the stereotype of the Italian American woman so much that everyone in the world finds them easy pickings to wake up every day to put down? I imagine it. I imagine it. Knowing how Italians are, how your great grandfather would feel, how your grandfather feel, how your father would feel. Knowing Italian Americans are outspoken, I imagine how upset and angry they'd be at these 20-year-old Italian American men. How dare them put down their own people? Then I imagine what would happen if two Italian American men went onto a black guy's podcast. And on this podcast, they put down Italian American women. And then the black guy on the podcast joins in joking with them. And I again imagine your great-grandfather, your grandfather, your father, people of older Italian American generations looking upon this in utter shock. What is going on with our people? They just going to other people and joining and doing this? Then I imagine a great positive Italian American man coming out here on social media to put them down for doing that. Then I imagine the black co-host take this Italian American positive guy and says that he's going to sexually assault him. And then after that, I imagine what would happen if this black podcast host took a trip to New York and decided to take a stroll down Little Italy. You fucking hypocrite. You know what your problem is? And I just can't figure it out. Like, why don't you like Kendrick Lamar so much? Like you can tell you hide it behind jokes, but you really don't like Kendrick Lamar. Watching you during the entire Drake beef, you would say Kendrick Lamar is a liar. He's just making up these lies. And then your co-host, who got a lesser charge, your co-host would take up for Kendrick Lamar and say Drake did it too. Now, to save your ass, you were like, yeah, Drake lied. But you would quickly say it. The actual passion only came from Kendrick Lamar. Now, let me show you how other people lie and get out of this situation. They lie by saying, well, Kendrick lies were far more hurtful than Drake lies. Who are you to subjectively say whether domestic violence, punching a woman in the face, or sexually assaulting? But you can't even use that excuse because you have shown you don't give a damn about sexual assault. So if that's not it, what is it about Kendrick that just scuffs your Tim boots? It made me feel like I was wrong about you. I felt like you never cared about our culture. And I was wrong. You flat out don't like us. You don't like us. You don't want us to have anybody to look up to. You don't want us to follow a man who made an entire album based upon mental health, which is a lot of black Americans need. You don't want us to follow a man who's about to do a pop-up concert, and between each set, he plays a homemade video that he made teaching financial wealth, financial growth. You don't want us to follow a man who is currently right now getting with one of the best documentarian filmmakers to make a documentary on sex trafficking. For some reason, Kendrick Lamar just scuffs your fucking Timbs. A lot of people won't put their feelings out here. I was a little perturbed watching your video. I don't mind being open and honest about my feelings online. But then I thought about something and it made me sleep good at night. I thought about, you're not special at all. Nothing about you is special. Because I realized, how did you blow up? Like, how did this guy blow up? Talent? Absolutely talent. But that's not why you blew up. I see your talent because you're so quick with it. That's something that cannot be taught. You're either born with that or you aren't. We'd love to see you in a barbershop roasting. You'll hold your own fairly well because you are talented. But you don't blow up from talent alone. For every Michael Jordan you see, there's a kid that was balling in Rucker Park that would wipe the floor with him. For every Michael Jackson you see doing the moonwalk, the little kids, little black kids in the 80s that he stole the dance from, dance 1,000 times better than Michael Jackson. So it isn't talent alone. You got to have these opportunity. You blew up because you, in fact, became partners with a black man in our culture who was accused of some horrific things that you don't care about. When you had this as your biggest platform, you were very respectful to the black American community. When you would say something that was unintentionally out of pocket, you would apologize for it. You would openly sit there as Charlemagne would bring other guests on and they would teach you more stuff and you would start to see things from a different perspective. Nothing wrong with that. That's what we like. It's just weird that once you grew bigger to where you no longer needed our community, that you stopped doing this. I don't need them anymore. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say. You wasn't saying what the hell you wanted to say before. Makes me look at you no different than a Kid Rock or a Miley Cyrus. Benefit off our backs and our talent until you don't need us anymore. That is the definition of a culture vulture. But that's not what really blew you up. What really took you off to where now you can sell out arenas is the mere fact of February of 2020, when the entire world was stuck into their homes. You used that talent to get all eyeballs on you. How's that bad, John? I imagine you, who have shown that you don't give a damn, you're just out for self-gain. I imagine, right before I hit the record button, I imagine you, Andrew Schulz, holding a crystal ball in your hand. And the crystal ball told you, you have the power to save the world. If you rub this crystal ball, we would wipe the new form of this bird flu from the history books. You wouldn't do it. In order for you to sell out arenas and be where you are, you did it off the backs of 7 million people who died across every race, nationality, and country there is on this planet that you roast evenly. So the next time you think you fucking special, just think it took 7 million fucking people to die for you to get where you are to sell out 15,000 people in an arena. And when it comes to comedy and when it comes to sexual assault, remember the words from one of our greats.
And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are.